Let's drop down to verse 13. But we are bound to give thanks always to God for you, brethren, beloved of the Lord, because God hath from the beginning chosen you to salvation through sanctification of the Spirit and belief of the truth. Number one, we're chosen by Him. Look at the same truth. In Romans, right there. Foreign Bible is like reading in a different language. Jacob I loved, Esau I hated. Find that.
9:12.
9:12 is it, Mark?
9:13 again.
13?
13.
That's it. Let's go up a little bit. Verse 9. For this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by her father Isaac. For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God, according to election, might stand. You were chosen for God's purpose. He says here, according to election, might stand. Good news. Not of works. Better news. But of him that calleth. We could not possibly have done or do good enough for God to save us. We'd all still be lost. Period. We through a period. Not of works. Nothing we did. But of him that calleth. Our whole being in church and being saved is entirely an act of God. And nothing else. It's like, I try to imagine what it'd be like to win the lottery, the big one. The one you have to play again like. But I've already won it.
Yeah. Amen. Amen.
God put us in the game and made us win.
Thank you, Lord.
We're all sitting here as winners in Christ.
Right. Amen.
Think about it, you know? Considering the fact that we're all losers. So present that. A loser is anybody who goes to hell. And we were all born with the ticket to hell. Period. So many times. there's going to be a lot of good people in hell, and a lot of bad people in heaven. You understand that statement?
Yes.
We're going on the fact that God just called us according to his purpose, and that's it. Put another way, because he could. Because he wanted to. And took the worst of the lot. Scriptures tell us not many mighty, not many nobility are chosen. 4 categories. He has chosen the weak things, the foolish things, the base things, and things despised. That's God's drawing pool. And that's over here. You're in one of those categories. Or all 4.
Right.
Depending. I think I'm the 4-star club this one. All of it. He came to do business. With sinners. He came to find, seek, and save people who are lost. I don't know about you, but I was lost. Lost means not know anything about the plan of salvation at all. A lot of folks go into this world aimlessly. In the case they have degrees, according to the standards of this world, they're well off, they're doing well. But lost they can be. I met folks that don't even know there is a God. I talked to them about God, and they look at me like, surprised. And they asked me, do you believe there's a God? I love that question. That's a launch pad then, you know? I get crazy excited when they ask that question. I'm always surprised, though, that there are people in the world who don't know about God.
Right.
Who don't know, that they're lost. The old statement says, ignorance is bliss. In that case, it is. If you're lost, soul-wise, eternity-wise, you're probably better off not knowing it. Although you should know it, because it has a bad ending. He created a place for the lost. Now, I always have to get to this part of the conversation because this is a part of the conversation. He said before the children were born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. That's not according to how things should be. As it is written, Jacob, the younger, have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Why'd you love Jacob, God? Because I could. Why'd you hate Esau? Because I could. He's showing us here that the whole salvation process is up to him. Now that raises a question that should be in your mind, and the writer gets it. What should we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? One might say in your mind, not fair. Well, let's look at what is fair. What's fair is that God should have hated both. Why? Because they're both born sinners. Simple as that. He had a right to send them both to hell. Just on their birth. Just by the fact they came to this world as a seed of Adam. Adam sinned, and says, and sin fell upon all men, and all have sinned and come short of God's glory, and God had the right then to send everybody to hell. Now that's what you call fair and just and righteous. A righteous penalty. What did God say in the garden? The day you eat thereof, you shall surely die. Put another way, sin equals death. And sin, this should come across with Moses and the children of Israel. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy. And I will have compassion on him on whom I have compassion. How that story come about? Well, God got ticked off with Israel. Constantly breaking his commandments. They broke the covenant agreement they made with God. And so God told Moses to step aside. This is after God began with Abraham. He made a 430-year investment to bring this nation to being. After that much time, God told Moses to step aside. I'm going to take them all out. Was he right in doing so? Yeah. Was he just in doing so? Yes. Absolutely. They had basically denied him and rejected him, turned their back on him, and chose other gods. He had a good right to get rid of all of them. Thank God for Moses, though. But when Moses stepped in, he said, well, first of all, it's not going to look good. The word's going to get out that you weren't able to save him and take him to the promised land. Moses and God had a real unique relationship. And he said, now, if you're not going to change your mind about this, Moses said, then blot my name out. Take me out. With the idea of sparing them. I'm glad Moses talked to God. God said, here's the deal then. We're going to destroy everybody. I'll have mercy on the ones I have mercy on. My choice. The ones I have compassion on, my choice. I have compassion on them. Bottom line, though, we're all here because of the mercy and compassion of God. Period. Nothing we can say on ourselves like, Lord, this is why God saved me. And I got this going on, or that going on. God said at our very best, we are unprofitable servants. At our very best, our best righteousness is as a filthy rag. That's at our best. Imagine that. When he said that there is none righteous, there's none that doeth good, he took an inventory of every single individual on the face of the earth, and that was his judgment. Nobody. All have sinned, he said. Everybody. There wasn't like a generic statement. He meant every individual. All have sinned. And all have come short. I haven't done my little in a long time. Let's do that tonight. This is the danger of watching the other in church and looking at each other. The law of Moses was God's standard of righteousness. 613 commandments. Do this and live. He's answering Satan's lie in the Garden of Eden. Satan told Adam and Eve, if you eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you'll know good and not have to do evil. He put the whole thing in the man's hands. He said, if you know good, you cannot do evil. Big lie. So God took up on it. God said, here's the standard of good. You can read it. You can learn it, you can memorize it, you can know it. Now just do it. He answered Satan's life back in the garden. So Angie tried first. Jeep jumped up. Did pretty good. Then her husband joined in. I trust her, I think I can do better. And he did. Now this name, somebody just want to volunteer your name? Sure. Secondly, yeah, babe. Here's no problem. It's like playing Mother May I am. Put you where they want to put you. Tyler, you want to go? You want to play? Tyler? Here you go. Looks like Marcello did pretty good. He was the best. One problem. Came short. Came short. So God can't use him. He's only taking perfect people to heaven. He's taking people like him. Now somebody looked all the way and came out of here. Like, I can never go. But he made a deal. God is fair and just, no matter what. We can all be mad at this guy. He sold us out. He sinned. And in him was created that day a sin gene that passed upon everybody born. They get the gene. And look at how good you are. You got the disease. Somebody say, you can be good looking with the disease. You'll die. You can be rich with it, you'll die. You can be poor, you'll die. You can be fat, you'll die. You can be skinny, you'll die. No matter what color you are, you get the disease, you die. I was in the Garden of Eden. It's not my fault. God knows that. The only thing God is, he's righteous, he's fair. So he's almost in the second Adam. By the name of Jesus, when it came to this law business, Jesus said, don't think that, I come to destroy the law. He said, what? I came to fulfill the law. Everything the law demands, he said, I did it. In fact, it goes deeper than that. This law that God wrote in the Old Testament was written about him. And God just stopped at 6:13. I was about to get the point across. 6, we're talking about number Sunday. 6, number man. 13, number what? Rebellion. Rebellion. It's rebellious man who can't get it right. Never has. So what does God do? So I'll make you a deal. As in him, Adam, you didn't have to practice sin to qualify as a sinner. Did you? You were born a sinner. There's little cute babies in this church. Other babies in here, y'all got their own different personalities. They're all interesting little people. But they're all sinners. They're born precious, little, cuddly little sinners. That's just how it is. So what do? They got this gene. Born with it. What's that gene do? It takes you out. It separates you from God. When? Forever. That's why there's a need to be born again. Second time. So this man comes along, Jesus. He qualifies. Only one. Since he qualified, he's the only one whose blood has the worth and the value to pay for the sins of the world, so he died. And paid for the world's sin. Is that good news?
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Well, how do you know that it was accepted? God raised him up. Only one who died, got up again. Went to hell, and then went to hell and then stayed there. Everybody else who dies, whether they went to the place of torment in hell, or the other side called Abraham's bosom, they were still in a prison house. Everybody